I was going to do something different originally, but then I started to talk to a couple people, and they was just like, "You got a good thing going on. Why change it so early? We only up to 2." So I was just like, you know what? Let me stick with it. The third one is the charm. And you see, and the third one is the biggest one. You know, to me, it just looked. It was a statement that it was the best one. It's just, I'm not looking at the camera. You know, it was a picture. You know, it was more like a silhouette. You know, and it had kind of like the Brooklyn Bridge in my face. You know, it was dope. So I just thought it was a gigantic statement. You know, nah, it was no significance. We had been working on that tape from early. You know, maybe like March. We was trying to get the tape out. You know, by June, July. You know, I wasn't ready though, so we got it out by August 11th. I never usually do. You know, what happens is that you start recording. You know, you know how it is. You up close with an artist. You know, you start the process of being creative, and then you start to fall in love with a certain, you know, with a certain number of records. You know, so we wound up keeping more than we thought we would. That was me and my peoples though. Like I bring all the homies in, and we just sit down and figure out what record comes or sounds better after another. You know what I mean? Because I'm a fan of dope albums. You know what I'm saying? So, in where you place the records and how they going from one to another is always important. The flow is just, to me, it's just a good ride, and whether, you know, some different people listen different. Different people some people are more into lyrics, some people are more into the beats, some people more just the vibe of the song. So I kind of always want to be in a place that when I make music, it kind of always has you like this, whether you catching what I'm saying or not, because I wanted to feel like I was saying a lot more than I've been saying on the last 2. You know, so I felt like it was just a good ride. The first song, to me, the intro, was like one of my favorite songs. It was a song where I kind of call it street but conscious at the same time. It's like you don't have so much of that, you know. I'm saying certain things on there that I probably haven't or am not saying on other records. You know what I mean? Like, these people don't need to turn up. We need the truth. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, you know, the fact that, you know, we ain't got no jobs, but the jail is big business. You see, we living in a time where it's a lot going on in the country and a lot going on in the world, and it's just like you can't help but be affected by certain things socially that goes on. You know, the ghetto is still a ghetto. You know, people still poor, we still suffering. You know, these mass cops shootings and shit like that. So it's like I wanted to express some of that in the music. There's so many, man. There's so many that mean something to me. You know, the singles Harder Than Them. You know, it kind of explains, self-explanatory. You know, Pussy Nigga Problems. You know, it's more on the funny side, but it's a dope record with CHINX. May he rest in peace. But I got records on there that, you know, like Second Life. You know, where I'm talking about, you know, my mom's in one verse. I got a homie that been in jail for almost 20 years on one verse, and I just talk about me in the second verse, on the last verse. You know, where I'm telling a story, and I want to get back to sometimes telling a story. I like to make music not only for the clubs, but life music. The soundtrack to people's lives. It makes me feel good when people reach out to me and say, yo, man, I listened to your music. I was going through such and such and such and such, or I had cancer, or I was sick, or my father died, and you know, you inspired me. So I kind of like to make music not only for people to dance and vibe to, but kind of touch their soul a little bit, you know, because that, to me, is what the game be missing a lot of times, that pain where people really feel it, you know. For a long time, I didn't know how many records I was gonna put on there and which records to pick, but I just said, fuck it, we just gonna do more. Because I started off really wanting to put 10, you know, and we wound up with, what, 15, 16.